Astroworld cops seen laughing and filming Travis Scott crowd after fans tried to stop show. A shocking video captured at the doomed Astroworld Festival appears to show members of the Houston Police Department laughing and filming Travis Scott more than 15 minutes after the concert was declared a mass casualty event. In the 15-second clip exclusively obtained by The Sun, Scott is seen jumping around on stage with guest performer Drake on Friday night as a line of Houston PD officers stand just beneath them at the foot of the stage. In the 15-second clip exclusively obtained by The Sun, Scott is seen jumping around on stage with guest performer Drake. The U.S. Sun. At least one officer can be seen smiling and recording the crowd in stage on his iPhone, as a second stands next to him laughing. The U.S. Sun. The crowd can be heard screaming the lyrics of Drake's track "Way Too Sexy" as cups filled with liquid are hurled towards the front of the crowd. At least one officer can be seen smiling and recording the crowd in stage on his iPhone, as a second stands next to him laughing and bobbing his head along to the music. A number of other officers can be seen walking past the camera, staring up at the stage as they pass. That means the video was captured at least 16 minutes after the Houston Fire Department declared Astroworld a mass casualty event at 9:38 p.m. Long before Drake's guest appearance, video captured at the event showed people unconscious on the ground, and security workers and bystanders administering CPR to some attendees who had collapsed amid a crowd surge. Other clips showed festival goers pleading with cameramen and security guards to stop the show because people are dying. At one stage, and after the video obtained by The Sun was captured, Scott stopped his performance to signal that somebody at the front had passed out and needed help. The event cancellation came 32 minutes after the mass casualty designation, Turner's timeline would suggest. 8 people died during the event and hundreds of others were injured, including 11 who suffered cardiac arrest. During a press conference on Wednesday, Police Chief Tony Finner insisted that his officers told the organizers of the event to stop the show when at least one person in the crowd was receiving CPR. HPD personnel told personnel in charge of the event to shut down the performance, Finner said, adding that officers informed organizers about the life-saving measures. He, however, failed to reveal when the police alerted the organizers and how soon after the event was stopped because timelines are a major focus of the investigation right now. Finner also said that the ultimate authority to end a show was with production and the entertainer, and that should be through communication with public safety officials. The video was captured at least 16 minutes after the concert was declared a mass casualty event. The U.S. Sun. 8 people died during the event and hundreds of others were injured, including 11 who suffered cardiac arrest. Getty. Police Chief Tony Finner insisted that his officers told the organizers of the event to stop the show. AP. HPD is currently investigating the cause of the deadly crowd surge, including whether there were any missteps in the planning of the event with regard to safety. According to Finner, 530 HPD officers were present during the event. Their primary responsibilities, he said, were traffic enforcement, traffic management, securing the perimeter. Meanwhile, Live Nation's security team was responsible for securing mosh pits in the crowd. "I'm not comfortable with giving out numbers yet they're giving us," Finner said. "The challenge is, you have 3 or 4 security companies, and some of them, the records are not good." Finner suggested that the HPD's investigation may take months to complete. The under fire police chief was also asked about his so-called special relationship with Travis Scott, and whether he could be impartial in leading an investigation into the concert because of it. Finner countered that he has only met Scott twice, one of which times came the day before this year's Astroworld event. "I'm the kind of chief that I meet with people, whenever I can. And we had a very respectful few-minute conversation about my concerns," he said. He added that he had no reason to believe the event wasn't going to be safe. Responding to the chief's remarks, an attorney for Scott spoke out in defense of the rapper, accusing Finner of finger-pointing. Houston Police Chief Troy Finner was quoted in the New York Times as saying, "You cannot just close when you got 50,000 and over 50,000 individuals." McPherson's comments appeared to allude to the idea that HPD is deflecting blame onto Scott when there were reportedly other systems put in place to manage the crowd, including a heavy police presence and private security. It was reported that the operations plan designated that only the festival director and executive producers have authority to stop the show, neither of which is part of Travis' crew, the attorney wrote. This also runs afoul of HPD's own previous actions when it shut down the power and sound at this very festival when the performance ran over 5 minutes back in 2019. He concluded, investigations should start proceeding over finger-pointing so that together, we can identify exactly what transpired and how we can prevent anything like this from happening again. The day after the tragedy, Scott took to social media to say he'd been left devastated by what transpired. In a subsequent statement, he reiterated claims made by his longtime girlfriend, Kylie Jenner, in which she stated that he couldn't see the crowd well enough to recognize what was going on from the stage. "My fans, really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience, and anytime I can make out anything that's going on, I stop the show and help them get the help they need, you know? I could just never imagine the severity of the situation," Scott said. Scott reportedly attended a pre-planned after-party at Dave & Buster's after the ill-fated event. An investigation into the Astroworld tragedy continues. At least 2 victims are currently in critical condition in hospital, including Texas A&M student Barty Shahani, 22, who was pronounced brain dead on Wednesday. At least 2 victims are currently in critical condition in hospital, including Texas A&M student Barty Shahani, 22, who was pronounced brain dead on Wednesday. Credit, Getty. Astroworld victims' manner of death unknown as Houston Police Chief addresses festival casualties in briefing.